So now we turn to our next panel, where we will dive into the world of responsible online advertising. Leaders from Google, Accenture, Douglas and the Lufthansa Group will discuss the value of responsible advertising from their unique industry perspective. This promises to be a very dynamic discussion, so let's welcome our panelists. First, we have Mike Egbert, Head of E-commerce Performance Management at Douglas. Next, Tobias Kellner, Industry Relations Manager at Google, Karin Libowitzki, Managing Director at Accenture, and Jörn Sarkowski, Senior Manager, Project Lead Customer Data Platform at the Lufthansa Group. I am very happy that you're all here today. And before we dive right into the discussion, we are going to show a very short video.
From that very first banner ad, the engine of the internet was advertising.
The internet could not have become what it's become without advertising.
And that turned into a fantastic business model.
Advertising delivers on that original promise of a free and open internet.
And that has dramatically increased access to information.
You don't even think about it, just there, and it's free.
I think it democratizes the ability to publish information. We need diverse voices, and large and small.
Hey, I'm Corey of Curb Free with Corey Lee. There are so many financial barriers for people with disabilities. If they had to pay to view it, that would just be something that I would never want to do, and I never will do.
Digital advertising is a massive economic driver. It's linked to almost every single modern business.
Because every dollar that they spend on advertising, they can get $2, $3, $4, $7 back.
Creates a win for the user with free content, a win for the publisher, and a win for the advertiser.
The world without advertising would be highly unsustainable.
Perfect. With that in mind, let's dive right into our discussion regarding the data privacy aspects of online marketing and advertising. Tobias, I would like to start with you and take a look at Google. How does Google approach the challenge of balancing user privacy with the need for personalized ads?
Yeah. Hi, Isabel. Hi. I'm happy to be here, and I'll try to speak as fast as the people did in the video. So I think Google's approach to balancing user privacy and with personalized ads is constantly evolving in response to, and what we've heard, user expectations, technological advancements, and also regulatory changes. And I think it's also important to mention that according to a study of Public First and Google, 70% of EU businesses have used digital advertising tools in 2024. And we have seen that more than 80% of consumers also want offers that are aligned with their interest. Now, to your question on, how to balance this, I think I want to highlight three aspects from our perspective. One, we have increased user transparency and controls. So for example, we introduced the My Ad Center, where you as a user can go in and with a few clicks, for example, personalize your ad settings or even deactivate personalized ads. And that's really, fast. I actually tried it this morning. It's like 2 clicks. Or you do transparency about data usage, where really we explain on one website, on transparency.google, how is data collected, what are our policies, and how also you as a user can flag content. I think the second one that's really important is that we have clear guidelines. So for all personalized ads targeting features, we don't, for example, allow sensitive interest categories, among them, for example, health, sex, race, or religion. And last but not least, and I think we will talk more about this also in the panel, is in collaboration with the industry, we are developing what we call privacy enhanced technologies, so PETs. And I'm sure we will talk about this more also now in the session.
Yeah, we definitely will. Thanks, Tobias, for that. Karin, when we now look at your perspective, how, from your view, do companies reconcile the need for user data with compliance to regulations such as the GDPR or the CCPA, from your point of view?
So maybe before we dive into that, I mean, it's in the end, it's really super customer centric, right?
Yeah.
So and I mean, Toby just mentioned two data points. I would love to add two more.
Of course.
So it's like more than 70% of the consumers are more likely to buy from brands that are transparent about how they use the data, right? Mm-hmm. And in addition to that, more than 80% of the consumers today expect brands to use AI responsibly and ethically. And I think that comes with exactly that question that you just posed. So it's really that companies need to balance the need for user data with compliance regulations like GDPR and CCPA by doing a few key things, right? And one is really around creating a clear data privacy policy. Another one is really around using strong data protection measures like encryption and anonymization. Another one is really around running regular audits and assessments, which will help spot any vulnerabilities and also keep data protection measures up to date. Also, companies have started to run extensive training programs to make sure that their employees understand their role in protecting the data. And last but not least, it's really about advanced technologies like AI, and of course, for a long time already machine learning that help to analyze data efficiently while also keeping it secure. So I think by taking a holistic approach with the consumers in mind, specifically in the context of responsible advertising, it's important to not only meet the regulatory requirements, but really also to build trust with customers and stakeholders and elevate the brand and the brand value.
Yeah, thanks for that. And Mike, if we talking about the changes in regulation, how have the changes in data privacy laws impacted your ad spend at Douglas? And have they affected the campaign effectiveness in a way? Or how are you handling it in a way? Maybe you can tell us something about that.
I mean, it is a super exciting challenge, and we have whole business units to try to prevent the impact on campaign effectiveness. Overall, we are a growing business, and therefore ad spend is also growing. We are very happy to have increased the efficiency years over the years, but still the world got more complicated. For us, it's increasingly harder to take the right decision on where to spend the next euro of marketing budget. And we have internally a whole lot more complicated processes and workflows to ensure data privacy and accordance with local laws.
Do you have an example for us? What specifically is hard for you in that process?
Yes, definitely. A marketer today needs to know where his data goes, when it goes there, in what format, how is it encrypted. A digital marketer 10 years ago probably didn't know that. So talking with data protection and lawyers in the end is an extensive part of a good digital marketer's work today. And that wasn't the case 6 years ago.
Yeah, thanks. Now, maybe let's, Jörn, take you into the loop. As a global airline, how does Lufthansa, as a big company or group, balance offering personalized services and also respecting, especially passenger privacy in your advertising campaigns?
Well, personalization is a key topic in advertising nowadays, and it's also on our roadmap, especially from 2025. We call it hyper-personalization or radical personalization. So let's see how hyper-personalized we can get in the next 2 years. But in advertising, this basically means showing ads to recipient and customers that are interesting to them. So we talk about relevant ads here. And for personalization, to enable that, you often need certain data to do that. So information about the recipient or the customer, what they're interested in and what they are not interested in. And this can be provided, for example, in terms of in the form of third-party cookies that can be provided by Google or Meta for targeting, but we also can use our internal data that we collected from our customers. And we use a platform, as my title name it, is a CDP, a customer data platform. And with that, we can build audiences and we can activate it. So we would encrypt it and push it to a Google or a Meta, so they can offer us this data or similar data like that for targeting. The collection point for our internal data that we built the audience on is Travel ID. And Travel ID is basically the name for the Lufthansa Group that the customer can build their profile and they can connect it to our app and then connect it to their Miles & More account. So it's basically an app where they can manage their permissions and their preferences. And basis for the usage of this data is, of course, the consent. Otherwise, we cannot use this. So the question is now, to whom do we advertise and who do we exclude from advertising? And this is exactly the balance we are talking about. We cannot and we should not utilize this data only to upsell or to commercialize it. We also can use it for excluding people from certain advertising campaigns because they might not want to see these ads. And on one hand, that creates relevancy for the customers and it creates savings for us as a company in the ads.
Yeah, very interesting and very complex, of course. And now if we maybe take a look at the impact of future privacy regulations, if we kind of dive into that a bit. Karen, from your perspective, how do you help companies to navigate the complex landscape of privacy regulations across all the different industries in a way? Maybe you can talk us through that a bit.
Sure. And I mean, like we've just heard, right? I mean, all those systems and setups, they require a technological backbone and a data strategy on the back of that. Because the CDP is a system, it's a very smart system, but it needs to be set up according to not only the regulatory requirements, but also the user experience requirements, also the brand requirements, also the, even publishers' requirements in the end, right? And this is essentially where we help companies. It's really about offering expert guidance and also tailored solutions, really collaborating closely also with all the data protection and data privacy officers that companies have in place, as well as, of course, the marketing departments, as well the commerce and sales departments. And it's really around, on one hand, implementing a robust data protection measure, including, like Jan also just mentioned, encryption and also anonymization to safeguard personal data, but also really also helping by conducting regular audits and assessments, just making sure that everything's set up and up to date, also preparing for new policies that are going to be launched, the EU AI Act and other measures that are going to affect all of the businesses, and specifically in advertising. We are also providing extensive training and awareness programs. We really leverage, as I mentioned before, more advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning to really help the enablement of processing large volumes of data quickly and accurately, but ensuring that personal data remains protected, right? And last but not least, and I think this is probably the game changer, is making sure that companies build a culture of privacy, so that they start living up to the design principles of privacy by design in anything they do, including advertising, including their search campaigns, including their YouTube presence, including influencer marketing, including social commerce, you name it. And really focusing on that build up and build out of that culture of privacy as a commitment, and also as a naturally understood relevant item in an organizational culture, because then in the end this is going to help clients build trust with their customers and stakeholders. So that's it in a very, very quick nutshell.
Yeah, thanks very much, Karen. You kind of scraped at the compliance aspect. And Mike, I want to jump on that for your next question. How do you at Douglas ensure compliance with, in your case, both local and international privacy laws when running your global advertising campaigns? Does that make a difference in a way, or how are you handling that to be compliant?
Yeah, that's a very good question that is keeping us awake every day. And what Karin said is actually one key element of that. Karin mentioned privacy by design, which when I joined the company 5 years ago, we customized what and how to share data per market. Today, we no longer do that. We rather define a global strategy of what data to use, what audiences to target, and usually most of that is based on our own loyalty program, which is of course helping us. We have 57 million households in Europe actively opted in to participate in our own loyalty program. And if we decide that it is a good idea to do a specific way of hashing the data in a specific moment, we roll this out to all markets we have. Even though you might not need it in Bulgaria, or you might could do it a bit more loose in Switzerland. Actually, this increases the efficiency of our processes, even if we might lose 1 or 2 percentage points of efficiency in some of the markets.
Yeah, that's very That's a very interesting aspect that you kind of aim to find one way that fits it all in a way, because it makes your compliance easier. And Jörn, at Lufthansa Group, maybe a kind of general question: how is Lufthansa preparing for future privacy regulations? Or if you want to jump on what Mike and Karin said, you may also do that.
So preparing for changes or preparing for something like that is not easy. I would call it more as a reaction. That's how I would describe it. And so how do we react as a company to that? And it's more about what we can do when these changes get announced to be compliant once they become effective. And so what we can do is anticipate them, right? We can follow the developments in the markets and in the industries, what is going on, and anticipate the direction where it could go. At the Lufthansa Group, we thought we can also do create a setup which allows us to act fast in that sense. The Lufthansa Group is very, very big. You don't only have Lufthansa, you have Swiss, you have Austrian, Brussels Airlines, Eurowings. You have a lot of airlines. They operate in different countries, and the whole Lufthansa Group advertises in more than 80 countries. So we said for ourselves, okay, we act according to GDPR worldwide, and because it's the most strict one, and I think that was a good decision that we do that. And we have a topic that is commonly known, centralization. So everywhere where we work with data or we work with tools that can enable or can enhance advertising worldwide, it's heavily centralized. And it's heavily centralized for almost all airlines. And of course, every airline have their DPAs and DPOs, but they exchange on a regular basis. And we have a setup. Even the CDP is when we do advertising or airline plans a campaign, then they contact us and we can support them in whatever they need. And I think centralization is a big key. What we also work on is an advanced permission concept. So a daughter department of ours, for example, they work on an overarching concept that makes it more clear to the customer what we are doing and what the data is used for.
Yeah, thank you very much for these insights. And Toby, when we look at Google and have in mind what Jörn just said, that for them, especially the heavily centralized aspect is quite important. How do you handle it at Google to comply with global privacy regulations, not only the GDPR, while kind of maintaining advertising revenue for your partners in advertising?
Yeah, I think the short answer would be technology and policies. And the long answer would be that, we're using privacy by design, which was mentioned a few times now. So that's something we've been implemented and using for many years now. And I think, but there's a lot of more technological advancement that I think I'd like to call out. I mean, we've talked about differential privacy for a while, that, you can use to deliver relevant advertising to groups of people without exposing individual browsing history. Then we also have on-device data storage and computation, which keeps potentially identifying user data on a user's device. So it's safe there. And I think very recently now we're talking about these trusted execution environments. And that's where we've seen a lot of progress recently, which is really a secure computing system that combines hardware and software protections to guarantee even the confidentiality and integrity of the code and its execution. And I think that is something that, where the code is kind of operating in isolation and is protected from observation. So regardless of the user rights. And so this really works like I would say like a house where only the advertiser would have the key to unlock it. And we recently launched a product at Google that is called confidential matching. And that's basically a further development of our existing product customer match, where advertisers can already match, their own data with Google's data to reach the target audience. And now with these trusted execution environments, we are going one step further, and we actually give a technical guarantee that this first-party data and matching can only use in a predefined way. And so I think there we can again increase the data security for everyone that's involved. So for the user, for the advertiser, and also, for us, as we also have our own first-party data. And I think that has been a concern for customers in the past and a topic for regulators. And that's something we now can really bring to the market.
Yeah, thank you very much. If no one of you has something to add to that point, I would like to jump to our last big session or big topic. We still have a few minutes left. So I would like to address the topic of collaborating in innovations for responsible advertising. Mike, what are your thoughts on the rise of contextual advertising as an alternative to data-driven targeted ads?
Honestly, I believe this would be a step back. I believe the best thing that has happened to ads is relevance. And if we go from data-driven to contextual, probably on average, the ad gets less relevant. So I don't think that's a solution. I believe the solution to that is doing data-driven in a way that is privacy safe. And I'm very proud that we do that at Douglas, and we get better at that every day. But contextual is not the answer, especially not in e-commerce.
Yeah, that kind of leads me to my next question for you. How do you anticipate changes in ad technology and privacy trends impacting your business model?
Actually, I believe for retail, in the end, we are a retailer.
Yeah.
And for a retailer, actually, this kind of strengthens our position on the market because we have access to customers. We are the ones where customers are willingly sharing parts of their data and their consumer behavior. So of course, this is also a business opportunity for us. This is not only a pity, but with retail media solutions, the retail in itself becomes an ad platform basically, where we can trade inventory on our first-party data in a secured way.
Yeah, Jörn, if we stay with that point and with evolving ad technologies, what innovations do you at Lufthansa, or what innovations are you exploring to create more privacy-conscious advertising that still delivers value to your Lufthansa's customers?
Well, we do a couple of things. I would say we try to upgrade our MarTech stack. So I already mentioned the CDP, the Customer Data Platform, that we can use to bring more relevancy in advertising to our recipient, the recipient of the ads, or to our customers. I mentioned the Travel ID, which is, as mentioned, the profile, the app-based profile where they can adjust their preferences and permissions. What I have not mentioned is a heavily advanced content management platform. A content management platform, you need basically to store the content of the website visitor or the user with timestamp and so on. So everything is stored there. It can include also a cookie banner. Of course, we have such a tool already, but it's in a integrated for the integrated part to other systems, it's not as advanced as we would like it to be. And that's why we are eyeing on getting a new one. Another tool is, and highly relevant for the CDP project and for marketing and on display advertising, is a data clean room. And a data clean room is a secure and controlled environment that allows two or more companies, like an advertiser and a publisher, to find matches in their data to enable personal advertising. We used in the past Customer Match, which was a technology by Google that allows using audiences from first-party data on YouTube or on other publishers like Frankfurter Allgemeine, for example. As a consequence of the Digital Market Act, this Customer Match functionality is now limited for a few months. And we now have to find a data clean room to use then confidential matching, as Tobias described it, or Google Pair, which is a new technology from Google to reinstate these conditions. And this is something we are looking into in the future. And I think when we have that, we have finally a MarTech stack that we can show and we can be proud of.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Karin, for you, do you also have certain trends that you're seeing in the way advertising is evolving in the future, and particularly in consumer expectations for data usage? How are you planning on handling it in the future?
Yeah. I think we've heard a lot already, and I think specifically also with the two advertisers that we have the privilege to have that panel with. I mean, they are both very mature, and they have both started to leverage all the first-party data and the treasure that they have from their loyalty programs, and have really best-in-class approaches. And what we used to know as a data management platform is a CDP today, which is a much more powerful tool, right? And I think really embracing the advancements of that we see in the technology space, even if it's data clean rooms, it's CRM systems that get composed into MarTech stacks, additional new privacy-ready measurement solutions, relying more on first-party data. So that's a trend that has been going on, but it has just been accelerated and supported by new technologies available. Then, of course, we do have the large bucket around advanced technologies from the AI and machine learning space that are really helping all of us to not only analyze data, keep our data-driven advertising approach, while still creating personalized experience without compromising privacy. So I completely agree also to what Mike said. And then I think a third topic that sometimes slips off the table a bit is there is a great demand from consumers who get more and more concerned about the environmental impact of their digital activities. So it's really around sustainability in the advertising supply chain, and really also making sure how that is being managed. And that can then also be used to increase the footprint and the trust in the brand. And many of those brands have started to be much more transparent about their data policies and better communication with customers around that. And there you can really have an competitive advantage by outlining how you even are more sustainable or following your sustainability agenda with, being very conscious of the data that is used, data consumption, and the impact on the environment that it has. And then last but not least, I mentioned that before, it's really the culture of privacy design, privacy of designs, which are two trends that are followed through by very mature companies already, but also picked up by others. And in the end, it's really leveraging advanced technologies to create real privacy-centric solutions that meet regulatory requirements while still using the opportunity to enhance the real experience on the back of everything that is there. That's how I would summarize it.
Yeah, we've got one question from the audience regarding this point. I'll just read it because it's quite long. Isn't the data clean room approach cheating data protection? After all, it's not matching process that it's most infringing on data subjects, but the advertisement and the possible tracking when they see and when they click on the ad.
Is that question for me, I guess?
I guess it refers to your point, yeah.
Yeah, so cheating is a harsh word. When a publisher and an advertiser do matches with both their data, then it is ensured that both the data are consented, right? So, and in that sense, in the state that we are right now, this is not really cheating. And the data is obviously not, you don't exchange raw data, it is encrypted. So you encrypt it or you hash it, so to speak. It's then pseudonymized. Most of the time, the industry standard is SHA-256, if you want to Google it. And then based on these hash values, you can match the data. And I wouldn't call it cheating. It is just a tool that allows us in the current advertising environment to utilize the data that we have the consent for.
Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to push in that question. And now getting back to what Karin said, I've got one last question for Tobias, for you, regarding future technology and maybe especially AI. What role does AI and machine learning play in enabling more privacy respectful and effective online advertising solutions?
So this is obviously a complex question because now we're taking in another big technology trend, which is AI. Right.
Just a short look.
I would say that at Google we have like this approach of, we call it bold, responsible, and together. Bold because it's really a big opportunity that we have in AI, especially in Germany, and especially coming from a competitiveness angle across the whole EU versus other regions, where I think the German Economic Institute in Cologne calculated in a study that there is a 330 billion euro opportunity for us with generative AI. So I think that's the bold part. Responsible, I think I outlined before, and I think a lot of the other panelists also outlined, the accountability aspects, that we have independent auditors, transparency aspects that we also, obviously implemented also with the changes of the DSA, a lot of explainability that we now use also as a consequence of the DSA, but also we had in place already before. And I think the last part of togetherness is really this collaboration that I think is key between, technology providers like us, but also, regulators, advertisers, and partners such as Accenture. I think that coming together is really what is needed. And I think that's also a key takeaway, if you will, from the panel, that, all stakeholder groups are committed for a more privacy enhanced future of advertising. And also in the area of sustainability, Karin mentioned it, It's the same. We need to work together. And that's why it's really helpful to have also Bitkom as a trade body and the digital marketing group, where we can discuss this regularly and also work on it in terms of, papers and common approaches.
Yeah, thank you very much. That definitely is a good takeaway from this panel session. And you just spoke about the digital marketing group, and I just wanted to, mention that at least if you're more interested in these kind of topics regarding data privacy and online advertising, on November 5th, the Bitkom Digital Marketing Group will meet at Zalando in Berlin to discuss AI in advertising, a 2024 reality check and future outlook. So I think you then will dive deeper into that topic on the 5th of November. So if you're interested in the audience, someone let us know. And at this point, thank you very much, Karin, Jörn, Tobias, and who did I forget? Did I forget someone? Jörn, Karin, Mike, sorry. Thank you all. We took a bit longer, but I think we got to say everything. And thank you very much. And talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.